love that sound. Let's have some fun. All right, boys, welcome to the party. This is the first time running the GoPro on my forehead. So let's talk about it. We're gonna go for a quick drive. We're gonna talk about the H2, what it's like to, be inside the cabin. Talk about what I've done in the interior. Just, the overall H2 experience. This is what it's all about right here. All right, that feels pretty good. Now, one of the first upgrades I've done is I have put a new upgraded shifter handle down here. The original ones are light, they don't really feel that well built, and this is a really nice quality upgrade. So we're in drive. Let's get this party started. Now, my driveway, it is pretty steep, and let me tell you guys, if you're somebody out there, you've got a steep driveway, or you got to get up through a lot of snow to get to your commute on your driveway, having an H2 makes things a lot easier. Due to the height of the vehicle, sometimes mailboxes will block your vision. So doing about 35 right now. The best way I could feel or explain this feeling of driving this vehicle, it just feels like I'm floating right now. Now, this suspension that I have on this vehicle, I have coils on this H2. Again, let's come to a stop. Let's see what's going on. No motorcycles, we're good. All right, let's go. I used to ride street bikes back in the day, and I always double check for bikes. Now right there, we're up to 40 already. There is a little bit of a bump between first and second. There is a transmission part that I am going to be replacing. It's a Transgo spring. When I was originally rebuilding my transmission, I wasn't 100% sure on what to do with some of the springs or what the spring was actually called. So that's definitely something I'm going to be getting cleaned up this summer. For me, when you're behind the wheel, the H2, the sweet spot, there's quite a few sweet spots. Like 40 feels really good, 45. I'd say 55 feels just absolutely perfect. And then when you get up to like 70 and 80, that's a really nice area while driving this vehicle. I do have the armrest down and for me, I couldn't drive a vehicle without an armrest. I just love this feature so much. Now, one of the big things I did do on the H2 in 2025 is that I sound deadened the interior of this vehicle. I put about 300 square feet of Resonix Mega CLD throughout the entire cabin. Literally every piece of trim on this interior has CLD on it. All right, let's give it a go. Now, I do have the Corvette servo installed on this transmission, and it helps with the acceleration. Makes it so smooth. All right, boom. We're at 70 miles an hour. Turn signal's on. Prior to installing the Corvette servo and getting the engine tuned by Black Bear Performance, I had an issue really coming onto on-ramps. The vehicle just did not have enough power, and you often read about that on forums, or I've seen some other people talk about it, saying one of the issues with the 03 to 07s is acceleration on on-ramps, and that is an issue until you tune the vehicle. Once you tune the vehicle, or even do a Corvette servo upgrade, it's probably both, that fixes that issue. The tune probably gains I've read up to 50 horsepower. So let me tell you guys, you get the H2, you get all the fluids, upgraded fluids, AMSOIL, you get an upgraded set of rear U-joints, get the Spicer U-joints, bump stops, get the gaskets in the engine bay, and let me tell you guys, just acceleration, boom, it's a total 100% difference from where I started to where I am now. Now right now I'm going 70 miles an hour, very, very light wind noise, and truth be told, some of that wind noise, I have since learned how to properly seal the trim pieces over here, so I probably can get that wind noise eliminated just slightly. Super smooth, just absolutely fantastic. I can do this all day, and to prove to you guys, you know, what I'm saying is true, is I've driven all the way from Pittsburgh all the way to Maine, or actually Maine to Pittsburgh and back in one day. It's probably about, what was it? I think it was 13 hours and 40 minutes behind the wheel. That's the longest I've driven this vehicle in one day. A couple other upgrades that I've done is that external transmission cooler. Right now it's 57 degrees outside. The transmission, it's sitting at, it hasn't even moved, so it's at the lowest dial, which is 100. So realistically, it's probably like 80 degrees, and that's fantastic. That's going to increase the life of the transmission. A little bit of a downshift right there. From my personal experience, when it comes to that downshift from overdrive or fourth gear down to third gear, you often have to let off the pedal for it to jump back into fourth gear. Not a big deal, but you know, something to keep an eye out for. You know, something else I really don't hear everybody ever talk about is right here on this side panel. I'll have to put my arm up here on the left side. It's just super comfy. Even dropping it down to the bottom section right here, really nice padding down here, guys. Now I did have the wheat interior on this H2. This is originally a 2005 wheat interior, and I transitioned it over almost completely to a black interior. So you can see the seats, you know, they still have that, you know, wheat texture to them because that was the original color of the seats. So let's see what's going on down here. You know, for me, when I'm driving my H2, I always double and triple check. So this is kind of a little bit of a hairy situation. I've actually never seen vehicles stop there to make a left turn. So I'll double check. Street bikes can come around that corner pretty quick. All right, here we go. Looking good, looking good. I tell you, you put all this work into your H2, and the last thing you want it to happen is somebody to, you know, hit your vehicle or get in a wreck. So I am a little cautious when I'm making any type of turn. I typically double and triple check. All right, pedals on the floor. We are wide open throttle right now. We're going. Boom. 5,000 RPM. Boom. Shift. That's fantastic. 75. Wow. That was smooth. I actually haven't done that in a while. So that was pretty cool. One red line a day keeps the check engine lights away. You know, some other things that I've done on the interior, now that we're talking about the H2, is I have tracked down a lot of carbon fiber. Now the carbon fiber for the 03 to 06 H2s, it was only made in 2006 and 2007 for that run of H2s. So this side piece, and you can see over there, it is perforated. It is an upgrade. Side vent right here. There's a piece beneath the actual shift lever, and the piece in the rear for the rear vents. I mean, right now, boys, I'm doing about 74, 75. The needle on This is interesting. The needle on the actual tachometer, it's not directly in the center. What I've found is it's on the, what is it? It's on the right edge. No, it's on the left edge, I believe. So like if it says you're going 75, you're actually doing 74, just something to keep in mind. Now the wind noise that you guys have been hearing, truth be told, it actually is typically a lot louder on H2s until you get those side pieces clipped down. Now once you do get that, the wind noise is almost eliminated. When I have music going, which I always do while driving this vehicle, you don't even hear it, so it doesn't even matter. That's one of the things you'll often read about or hear online, is people complaining about the wind noise, and it's like, honestly, I don't even ever hear it. So most of these things that these people nitpick at these H2s, they don't actually own the vehicle. They're driving the vehicle for 10 minutes and then, you know, they just find something to make fun of the vehicle. So you got to be really careful on who you listen to when you're driving one of these vehicles. Now right there, I jumped off the center line in the center, talking to you guys too much, and I'm not focusing on the road. So it's just smooth, guys. Smooth. Now one of the upgrades that I want to do is get the stock exhaust back. I've got the Borla exhaust. It's really nice. There's no droning on the exhaust, but the stock exhaust is even quieter. I've had a loud and vicious exhaust. It sounds cool, it sounds fantastic, but you know, you get a quieter exhaust, and I'm all for quieter exhausts. With the sound deadening, the Resonex, is it worth it? 100%. The sound on the interior, much quieter in the engine bay. When it comes to like the music, before the Resonex, the vehicle sounded like, or listening to the music, that's what I'm trying to say, listening to the music, or the sound of the music, it was like being at a live concert. Since placing the Resonex into the H2, you gotta be careful. You get somebody from Clown World, they'll try to pass you right there. It's like being at a concert on stage live with the band. So that's what you're getting. Plus, again, it is just so much nicer just listening to music. Now, listening to music in the H2, again, brakes super smooth, very quiet. Looking to our left, looks good. Here we go. Very nice smooth acceleration. Nice shift, boom. Nice shift, boom. So the bump there was from second to third, and again, I'm gonna get that cleaned up. What was I talking about? Oh, music. Listening to FM radio, you know, music doesn't sound that great. Listening to a CD sounds a little better. I did get my XM radio fixed. The XM radio antenna brings in the highest quality audio to this vehicle that I've experienced so far. And once I did have the XM radio on, I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe how much better the audio sounded. So that's really something interesting. If you're testing your audio system for clarity, you definitely want to either have an upgraded head unit or go through the XM system. They actually had this closed a couple weeks ago, and some old man tried running through a one-lane road right there. Now the H2, if you take this H2 into curves, you'd be surprised, if you've never driven one of these vehicles before, how smooth this vehicle is around bends, and that's what we're going to do next. So you guys got the experience of the H2, you saw the acceleration. I mean, this thing will get up and go. I've seen some guys doing reviews of this vehicle, and they start to compare the vehicle to like a Corvette. So by no means is, again, this H2 with the sound deadening. I probably have like 7,000 pounds behind my hand right now, and I've got one hand on the wheel. You know, I used to have a Mitsubishi Outlander, and a little more weight to the wheel than the Outlander, but again, there's no weight behind this wheel. You wouldn't believe, if you've never driven one of these vehicles before, how light it'll feel with your hand on the wheel. So again, we just took that curve around 45. I've hit that curve at 50. So not that I recommend taking your vehicle into, you know, sharp turns like that, but you can if you accidentally, maybe you come around a corner a little too hot. So now you'll notice the H2 dipped right there. The bump stops, they just soaked up. They just soaked up, you know, that bump in the road. If you're someone out there and you want to take the H2 around, you know, 40 miles an hour, maybe you've got a small commute to work, it's nice. I mean, right now I am, truth be told, I'm pretty slouched back. It's like, I've heard people compare it to being like in a fancy, you know, lazy boy chair. I compare it to being first class on an airplane. That's what it feels like. For those of you that have flown first class, if you sit in one of these H2s, that's literally what it's like. You're flying first class. It's identical. It's just a great truck. Great truck. So I think I'm going to end the tour of the H2 drive along, and let me know, guys, you know, if you guys like these types of videos, me talking about the H2 or other aspects of the H2, you know, not a problem. I am more than happy to make any type of content that you guys, you know, want to hear. But again, if you're someone out there and you're going out and you're buying your first H2, again, I can't wait to hear about you guys picking up your H2. Good luck.